Sits in a jail cell. He is back in Idaho, accused of killing young Michael Vaughan.
You're pure evil. You have no heart. You have no soul.
Wondra is accused of murdering her then 5-year-old son in 2021. Would you think you'll ever get the answer as to why?
No, because there is no answer to why. Why would somebody hurt an innocent little boy? What answer could you give? What answer could you possibly give? How scared was he? Did he ask for me? Did he ask for Tyler?
Stacey Wondra has been charged with first-degree murder and second-degree kidnapping and destruction of evidence.
Michael "Monkey" Vaughan went missing from his Fruitland neighborhood on July 27, 2021.
This is a criminal investigation.
Now, more than 4 years later, in newly unsealed court documents, Fruitland police named 4 people they believed are involved in Michael's murder. Those 4 names are ones we've heard before.
This is Sarah Wondra. This is Sarah's husband, Stacey Wondra. This is Brandon Shirtliff, Adrian Lucien.
As for what these 4 people have in common, they were all staying at the Wondras' home when Michael disappeared in 2021. That's just half a mile from Michael's home where he was last seen. In the PCA, police pointed to video evidence they say showing Shirtliff walking around the neighborhood. They say Shirtliff helped move Michael's body in a duffel bag temporarily to his mom's home in Kuna before standing guard as they buried him in the Wondras' Fruitland backyard. Stacey Wondra told police the 4 hoped to sell Michael for $10,000 each. He says the idea came from Adrian Lucien. Idaho News 6 is now learning Lucien was arrested and released in Indiana in October for a traffic-related misdemeanor. Sarah Wondra is currently serving time in the Idaho State Prison System for unrelated charges. She's eligible for parole in early 2026.
Karen, is there any connection between the Vaughan family and the home where police had been searching?
No, we've heard this more than once from the family representatives and from the police department that there is no connection between the Vaughan family and the home where this search took place.
As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wondra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wondras' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wondras' residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed.
An hour's worth of body camera footage showing Stacey Wondra FaceTiming with detectives and directing to where Monkey's body was buried in his backyard.
It's like right under that mound area.
It's right under the mound, about where at compared to the
trees? A little like right to the right of the trees area. It should be, it should be a garbage bag.
Okay, what color is the garbage bag?
It would either be white or black. We only had two colors.
Is the duct tape still going to be over his mouth?
It should be.
Okay.
I didn't watch to take them off.
Okay.
So you should have everything intact as it was.
He claims he watched the burial happen.
Okay, how far down is Michael?
I don't know how far she actually dug.
And the she he's referring to, that's his wife Sarah, another suspect in the case. Stacey says Adrian, a third suspect, was also there for the burial.
Out of 300 homes, police say canines tracked Michael's scent to the home where Stacey, his wife Sarah, and their two roommates Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucian lived.
As Joe mentioned, a newly released probable cause affidavit filed in June lays out the interviews following Michael's disappearance. Again, during these initial searches, police say canines tracked Michael's scent to the fence line of the home where Stacey Wondra, his wife Sarah, and their two roommates, Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucian, lived. All four of those individuals have been named people of interest in Michael's disappearance. One of Michael's neighbors told police they saw Michael riding a bike outside of the Wondra's home the day that he disappeared. Another neighbor said they saw that same tricycle at the Wondra's home during a garage sale months before Michael disappeared. The Wondras initially denied any involvement, but then in November of 2022, Stacey asked to meet with investigators. The PCA states Stacey claims he was home the night Michael was allegedly abducted and saw Sarah carrying Michael into the house. Stacey allegedly told police it was Adrian's idea to take a child to sell for money, and they would get a $10,000 cut. Stacey claims Sarah told everyone to, quote, follow her lead. Stacey told investigators they took him to Brandon's mother's home in Cuna that night, where they left Michael overnight. Stacey claims the other three returned to Brandon's mom's house the next day and brought Michael back to the Wanderer's home in Fruitland. Stacey told police Michael was not alive, and Sarah and Adrian buried him in the Wanderer's backyard. 2 days after Stacey's interview with police, they executed a search warrant and excavated the Wanderer's backyard. The affidavit says cadaver dogs alerted to the same area where Stacey told detectives Michael's body was buried, but to this day, Michael has not been found.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you here. Today is Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. My name is Samantha with Missing PNW Crimes Revisited. Welcome in to a relaxed live today. We are going to go over my archives. Information that I have in my computer, things that have happened during Stacey Wondra's shit show, things that happened on the Labs channel. We're going to be talking about Sarah, Adrian, Stacey, and Brandon Shirtliff. Everybody's being talked about today. So welcome in. Please hit your notification bell. I've been having a problem with my StreamYard. Creating lives have been difficult. I spent over an hour putting in all of my information, hitting the create button, and it keeps giving me an error code, and it really did take me almost an hour just to be able to get this live stream posted up. This has been happening for weeks. So my apologies to my moderators that are getting very short notice, and apologies to everybody else that probably aren't even getting their notifications for my lives. So please make sure, hit that notification bell. If you're not getting notifications, hit it over and over and over again. And like Shannon said, please hit that thumbs up button. It really does help get this information out into the algorithm for people to see. And the information that I'm going to share today is really valuable information. It really shows you exactly who these 4 suspects are. Sleuth Fairy is in the house. Pretty Assessor is also here. My beautiful Callie Dime, thank you so much for coming in. Flower Girl, thank you guys so much for joining. Dukes is in the house. Shannon, another beautiful moderator, thank you so much for coming in. Darlene is here. Good to see you, hun. Opal is in the house. Thank you so much for coming in. Beverly is here. Opal sends a great message. In case nobody told you today, you're loved, you're needed, you're alive for a reason, you're stronger than you think, you're going to get through this. Don't give up. You matter. Thank you so much for the beautiful, kind words, Opal. We really appreciate you being here and just being a beautiful soul. We really need more people like you. Court Case Courtney is in the house. Good to see you, Courtney. Gemini, so good to see you. I've missed you. Where you been? Where you been? You know, I appreciate everybody so much for coming here, you know, supporting the Vaughan family, supporting Michael Vaughan, and supporting myself. There's a lot going on, and come over the next couple of months, I think there's going to be a lot more going on. We do have Stacey Wondra's pre-trial hearing coming up August 4th, which is right around the corner. And then he's got 3 days of court dates for August 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then, you know, as of right now, trial is still set for September. And then we'll have the arrest of Sarah Wondra. And there are 4 named suspects in Michael Vaughan's abduction and murder. Michael Vaughan wandered away from his home in Fruitland, Idaho. He was 5 years old at the time. And while wandering the neighborhood, Stacey Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shirtliff were in the neighborhood when Michael Vaughan was abducted. And one of these suspects, or all of these suspects, are involved in one way or another. And Stacey Wondra says that Sarah Wondra came into the house with Michael, and Adrian, Lucian, and Brandon followed in after her, that they kidnapped Michael. Sarah and Adrian proceeded to tell Michael to shut up because he was screaming. I think at that point is when all 4 of these suspects decided to panic because Michael's voice was so high-pitched. We know because Fruitland Police Department has said so. They believe that Michael was buried in the Wandra's backyard and then later moved. Brandon Shirtliff is one of the suspects that knows exactly where Michael was buried. Was he told to do that? Move Michael by Sarah Wondra? We believe so. It is time for the suspects to start talking, the ones that haven't talked. And we want to know the truth, and the family deserves the truth. Right now, everything's being based off of what Stacey Wondra has confessed to detectives. Again, his trial is in September. Sarah Wondra will be arrested the moment that she is released from prison in October 2026. And Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucian's arrest is imminent, no matter what else you hear. They will be arrested. They will be charged, all 4 of them. Mike Duke, the district attorney, the prosecutor for the state, has made that promise to the Vaughan family and publicly in a letter that he wrote, saying that everyone involved and all suspects will be charged. He even went on to say that if anybody was hindering the investigation, that they would also be charged. So, Tina Mariel, Kay Ramsey, possibly even another creator, need to watch their backs and watch what you're doing, because you could be charged. Somebody out there has information about these 4 suspects or Michael Vaughan, and we need you to call in that tip. The tip line phone number is 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org. No tip is too big or too small. You can remain anonymous. You can collect over $50,000 if your information leads to the whereabouts of where Michael Vaughan has been buried by Brandon Shirtliff in this unknown location. You know, we want Michael to have justice. We're Monkey's Army. We're never going away. And we believe in Tyler and Brandy. We know that they are not suspects. We know that all of their family members aren't suspects. We also know that law enforcement also put out that other people in the neighborhood are not suspects either. So don't listen to the rumor and the BS on the YouTube streets. Stay right here at Missing PNW for the facts. Go over to Brandy Neal Vaughan's channel and hear the facts. Don't listen to the BS. All you're going to hear is a bunch of lies and rumors and misinformation or twisted information, whatever you want to call it. Again, if you have any information about Michael Vaughan and his abduction or murder, please call 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. If you know something and it's not sitting well with you, then you should probably call in that tip. All right. Kelly says, yep, 100%. We will make sure that they will be held accountable, and we will. Yep, please come forward. Doesn't matter how small or how big the tip is. Sleuth Fairy saying, Sam, are you redoing to the trial this time too? I don't understand what you're trying to say here. Are you something to the trial this time too? Am I going to trial? Is that what you're asking? Not sure what you're asking there, hun. Let me know, Sleuth Fairy. I'll be glad to answer your questions, because today is going to be a fairly relaxed live. I want to try to keep a better eye on chat. I was disappointed in my live yesterday. My granddaughters were here all week long last week. My granddaughter was supposed to go home on Saturday, ended up staying till Monday. I didn't have the time that I needed. And yeah, I'm tired of going over court documents. And we will still go over the court documents as they come in, because we need to know the information. But I wanted to do a live where we're actually talking about the suspects. We're looking at things they've said, they've done, and everything else. Katie, hello. Sis Lynn and I say hi from Idaho, Sam. Katie and Lynn are in Idaho with their sister, Brandy. I love that so much. Vet Girl is here. Hello, hello. Just opened up. Howdy. Who said B and T were suspects? Please, YouTube, do not listen to the BS. You know who said that. She always says it. She always says it. What do you want to call her? You can call her True Crime with Eve, the Eve Effect, the Evil, the Eve, whatever the hell you want to call her. Thank you so much for coming in, Vet Girl. It's just a bunch of trash. It's just a bunch of trash on that channel. It's crazy. She's been talking about the Vaughan family and them being suspects the entire time Michael has been missing, even though law enforcement says that they're not suspects and this was a stranger abduction. Yes, trash goblin. Gobble, 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 gobble. Or I could just smack constantly. Yeah, sick of the bullshit. Sick of it. Yes, you are going. Sorry. Oh, Sleuth Fairy. I have no clue if I'm going or not. We are trying to make things happen. We're trying to see how it all goes, because if it is streamed live, there's no reason for me to go to Idaho except for to be there for Brandy and Tyler, which I would love, but we're talking like a month-long hearing or a month-long trial. I don't know if I can stay gone that long away from my family. I take medications that I would have to have refilled. There's just so much to think about and going. But with that being said, I have thought about going, at least while the prosecution is putting out their information, because there's 20,000 pages of discovery, and I would love to hear all of that information. What do they have? What are they talking about? Who's subpoenaed to come in and testify against these suspects and all of that. I could care less what the trashy attorneys for Stacey Wondra have to say. Shannon likes to refer to her as the ankle. I love that. Sister Karen's in the house. Woo, vet girl, you are amazing. Thank you so much. I hope focus stays where it needs to be. Strength being sent to you guys. What an amazing super chat, vet girl. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate, wow, just wow. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. But we do have to do a few dances for that. Thank you so much, vet girl. That really is truly an amazing super chat. Thank you. Okay. Suzanne is in the house. Thank you so much for coming. Pretty assessor, Beverly lawyer. Just stays focused on the right path. The other BS can be handled later. There is a fine line and on opinion and criminal menacing focus. Absolutely. We really do try so hard not to talk about it. It's just aggravating, to say the least. McSporin is here. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for dancing in your seats here with me. I really do appreciate that. Man, there's so many things I have here. Exactly. That dude would flip on an archangel to save himself. He's going to do everything he can. Rogue is in the house. Good to see you, Rose. Or Rogue. Thank you. Thank you. Ashley Higgins is here. Thank you guys all for coming in. I honestly don't even know where to start today, because I feel like I've got some really, really good stuff. Great stuff today that I've pulled up, things that I've written down. I'm tired of just going over court documents, so I just wanted to bring something a little bit better today. Well, let me see. Does anybody, let's just start with, got to get out my banners here because we're going to be sharing some people. We're going to start with Justin for all. Justin has gone over Monkey's case a lot. Give him some credit for this. Let me just pull this up. I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but this is when, Justin for all originally had requested a FOIA because Stacey Wondra got pretty violent with an inmate, okay? And this inmate, you can tell is having some serious mental issues, kind of like just sitting there, rocking back and forth. And Justin got the FOIA. He's going to talk about, what actually had happened. And then I'm going to show you guys a more up close version of it, because I did take a clip and blew it up some. But let's take a listen.
Old videos on this story. He probably mad because he can't eat burgers. Yeah. So it goes like this. Let's see here. After reviewing camera footage, it is seen at 21:37 hours, Wondra get up from his bunk and slam the cell door. Wondra is seen proceeding to walk in front of where I don't want to use the guy's name. The other guy was sitting within the hallway of the pod. After a short pause of just a couple seconds, Wondra is seen striking the guy in the face and returns to his cell. He maintained there until Deputy Lyman and myself at 21:40 hours. It should be noted that no physical retaliation came from the other guy during the incident.
Because I'm telling you, he's not doing well. You'll be able to see that here shortly. He's really just not okay. And Stacey Wondra can only punch somebody in the face and pick on them if they're weaker than he is. That's why taking a child for him was much easier than taking a teenage girl, for instance, or a young woman, because Michael Vaughan, although we all know he fought like hell, screaming and yelling and kicking and punching, you name it. BRANDI has said she knows that's what her son was doing. Still somebody that Stacey Wondra and the others could take control of.
I followed up and took photos of the guy's face, of the right side of his face. Wondra is being charged with 2 jail violations, including violation of state law and fighting. Criminal charges are also being filed for battery, violation.
And Kelly is saying that the poor guy was just singing. I didn't even know that. I didn't know he was singing. So that's probably why Stacey got mad, because he was in there trying to sleep. He's out in the hallway singing songs, not doing well, because he is rocking back and forth. You can tell he's mentally disturbed. And yeah, this is crazy. Shannon's never seen this, so I've got some stuff that I pulled up that I don't know if anybody had seen.
Violation of Idaho Code 18-903. The guy is so let's see. Let me find it. On 11/24/2022 at approximately 21:25, Deputy Lyman 223 was at the Washington County Jail's office when I heard yelling. I began searching the camera for locating of disturbance. Deputy radioed me, informing me of the disturbance in pod 600. When I arrived at pod 600, Deputy Criman was putting inmate in number 151.
And instead of Criman, this is Detective Criman. We've talked about him before.
44 on the wall. He then secured inmate Wondra number 15376 in his cell. We then escorted the other inmate to booking, where he declined medical attention but was given an ice pack for the right side of his face, and that was red and swollen, and had a bit of blood on it. The inmate was questioned about the incident and was informed us that he and Wondra had yelled, then inmate Wondra hit him. The other inmate was returned to a cell and locked down for his safety. Inmate Wondra was then questioned about the incident, informing us that he and the inmate had been arguing when he hit the inmate. The inmate Wondra was then returned to a cell and locked down for safety. The review of the cameras revealed both inmates had been arguing when Wondra, standing up to his inmate and hit him on his face with his fist while he was sitting on the chair. Inmate Wondra was returned to his cell before deputies arrived. Photo statements and video was taken. Both parties received write-ups and disciplinary actions. I think I shouldn't have got a disciplinary action.
So that is that. And here is the video. Thank you so much, Justin, for requesting this for you. This is the video. I took a clip and I blew it up so we could all see it because it was going to be hard to see watching the clip from Justin.
He was 5. You know, I mean, you got a 500-pound fist,
right,
coming at you, right? £500-pound fist coming at you, right?
And you can see here, he's just sitting there doing nothing.
I mean, you got a
500-pound singing
fist coming at you.
And then the way that Stacey Wondra hits him and then walks away as fast as he can. Like, he didn't want any confrontation. He was going to stand there and get into some kind of fight. He was going back to his cell to hide like a coward, because that's what Stacey Wondra is a friggin' coward. A coward. Oh, let's see. Olive is in the house. Thank you so much for coming in. Just looking through chat. I truly believe more and more is gonna come out. Patience, perseverance brings justice. Olive says, love to all. Smash that like button, please, please, please. Yes, it doesn't make sense because Monkey was seen after he left the house by witnesses. When it affects the case and the family, it's important not to dismiss it. I don't know what you're talking about here, vet girl. Hey, wait, isn't that person been put on a potential witness list? Why on YouTube? The one that helped S. Creeper with the phone. I don't know what you're talking about, hun. Wish you did. Vet girl, good to see you. I hope you are well. It's been a minute since I have seen you. I'm glad you are here. Good to see you, Mama. Thank you so much for coming in. Brandy says, hey, everybody in chat. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Cappy is in the house. Good to see you. Shannon says that she had never seen this video.
You, right?
Yeah. The poor guy's just singing.
Michael was was 5. You know, I mean, you got a 500-pound
Karen is here.
fist coming at you, right?
Shannon says, can you imagine how he was going to react to the prison here? I mean, look how Koberger reacted. It's a different block Stacey will go to this time around. Yep, he'll be going to the place you don't want to go to when you're in prison. I wonder if they will all be able to use this in court to show his violent tendencies. And, that's why I'm talking about this, because we do have that intermittent explosive disorder that Stacey Wondra has. That kind of mental issue that he has there can just make him snap at any time at all. And it's crazy. Let me pull up. Oh, better put on another. We're going to put up a hidden true crime right now because we're just going to go over a small portion. Oh, what am I doing? I don't want that. We're going to go over a small portion of John Mathias from Hidden True Crime talking with Stacey Wondra. He's trying to find out his background, his history. Basically, he's analyzing Stacey Wondra. And we've been talking here recently about the fact that Stacey Wondra has all of these mental disorders, all these mental things wrong with him, right? Plus his fetal alcohol syndrome, his intermittent explosive disorder. Stacey Wondra talks about it. He talks about all of it. And then he talks about his diagnoses and when they occurred. And I want to talk about it.
But Megan and Miranda, not so great.
I was needy as a kid. I developed a lot of behavioral issues when I was younger.
Okay.
I required a lot of attention. My mom sacrificed.
Funny how he says he's, required a lot of attention, because I really feel like Stacey loved all of the attention on YouTube. All of it. I think that he likes even being pointed out as a murderer, as a kidnapper, as somebody who actually got a lot of all of the evidence. I mean, it was almost like in court when the DA said that Stacey did a good job in destroying, the evidence. He got like this little smirk on his face, like he was proud of that. I think Stacey Wondra likes all of the attention that he's getting, every bit of it.
The girls to make sure to, and sacrifice her work and everything like that, to attend to me and to attend to my needs. I was diagnosed at a young age. I was tested 4 different times neuropsychologically for mental disabilities. They call it neurocognitive disorder now.
Okay.
But I was diagnosed at a younger age with fetal alcohol syndrome, Asperger's, or autism is what it was called at the time. Intermittent explosive disorder, or IED.
Okay.
Bipolar.
Okay.
And then that was when I first got tested. And then growing up, I got tested when I was like 10 or 11.
So here you have him saying that at a very young age he was tested 4 times. Then he's saying when he was growing up, he got tested at 10 or 11. You know, we want to know when the last time was that Stacey Wondra sat with somebody and got diagnosed with whatever. What mental disabilities does he have now? Or is he just a psychopath and very good at manipulation? Because I believe that Stacey Wondra is very good at manipulating people. And I want to know when the last time was. And he doesn't talk here at all about any recent diagnosis.
Okay.
Again,
so that was all like before the age of 10?
Correct.
I just quickly, I assume maybe, were you medicated for the bipolar?
Yeah, they had me on medications a lot when I was younger.
Okay.
If I remember right, it was like Adderall, Strattera, just some other psychiatric meds. I don't lithium and
right. Okay, so some of that sounds like.
And lithium, that ain't anything to be messing around with. That's some crazy medicine. There are people out there that got to take lithium. My mom took lithium when I was growing up. She had some very, very disturbing mental health issues. And they do prescribe it to people that have like multiple different mental disabilities, which my mom did have. She was in and out of mental institutions my entire life, having mental breakdowns to the point where she lost all of her hair. And she took lithium and a pretty high dose for many, many years, at least I know through the 1980s. And then when you're diagnosed with Asperger's or you have, you know, ADHD or autism and stuff, it's not uncommon to get prescribed medications for that, or more medications for bipolar disorder. And he's saying he also was diagnosed with bipolar. What kind of bipolar? Was it a high-low situation? Was it a high situation? What is a low? Like your low is your depressed and low bipolar disorder, and then you go on highs, or you can actually go back and forth from highs to low, to the point where you're really super happy and you're excited and everything's great, and then a couple of days later you're really super depressed and almost feel like you want to hurt yourself. Like it goes to extreme back and forth. So I wish that the bipolar disorder would have been talked about a little bit more here, but I do know a lot about mental health, and I don't try to make fun of Stacey for having any mental disabilities. I just think that he uses all of these diagnoses as an excuse for what he has done now to Michael Joseph Vaughan.
Did some of that might sound like a little bit of ADHD, but maybe the bipolar kind of coincides with some of that?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good now. Sorry, I'm getting over my cold.
Yeah. So you were saying that, so that was before age 10, and then you were saying around 11 you went in for more testing, and were there more diagnoses to come after that?
No, it was just, it actually got progressively better. When I first got tested, my IQ was 57.
Okay. Before 10, you mean?
Mm-hmm. I was tested, my first time getting tested was like 4 years old or 5 years old.
So when I heard this and went over this last night, as I was preparing for this live, I was asking myself, so if he had an IQ at 57 at 11 years old, what is his IQ actually now? When's the last time his IQ was tested? I know that Stacey set up on panel with somebody during his shit show around or YouTube that it was like up over 70s or close to 80 or something like that. But when was the last time he had a real sit down and had his IQ tested? Because he seems pretty smart to me in some ways.
Okay.
And then my second testing was like 10 or 11, and my IQ went up to like 60. Same diagnoses. I got tested again in 2018.
Okay.
So 2018, was this, for his mental, or was this for his IQ?
So recently?
I'm sorry, not 2018. I'm sorry. 2014.
In 2014 is when he went into the mental facility that his mom put him in after he killed the family cat. The developmental mental facility / group home in Montana.
When I was in the group home.
Okay. And what do you remember what they said?
Yeah, I mean, I tested when I was in the group home. My IQ went up from 60. The last IQ was at 60, then it went up to 70.
Okay.
And then the most recent test I did was back in October of last year, and I think my IQ jumped up to like 75 or 80.
Okay.
So it was during this podcast where he mentioned his most recent. So he's saying it was 75, 80 within the last couple of years.
So, what was the testing that you had done last year?
Where'd that come from?
He's so rude.
Sorry, save that. Send that to me. I'm sorry, what was the what?
Yeah, what were they why were they testing you in October of 2023?
For my court hearing, my federal court hearing, my lawyer wanted to get a current neuropsychological evaluation to help with my court hearing.
Were they looking at competency then, or what was the issue?
No, not competency. They just wanted, because they wanted to just determine whether or not, just to see, if I'd be fit, if I'm fit for prison, if I had to go or whatnot. It was just.
So here he's saying in 2023, his attorney did all of this testing. So if that is true, then wouldn't his attorneys now have that information? Or do they just not want to use it? Because in recent court documents, they are requesting whatever mental, psychological, whatever was done by somebody else to try to prove about his fetal alcohol syndrome. And in those documents, it just really confused me. I know it had something to do with Chris Madonna. I know that it was talking about some kind of a psychiatric doctor of some sort coming in to talk to him, and they wanted that information. They requested it. But why aren't they using what Stacey's attorney found out about Stacey in 2023? Maybe Mike Duke needs to ask for that information, because maybe, just maybe, it wasn't good for Stacey to have that information out there. Maybe they saw the fact that Stacey Wondra is manipulative. And if he knows how to act a certain way with a psychiatrist, he may be able to have somebody misdiagnose himself because he can play the game. He can play the game of having mental disorders, or he knows how to answer the questions that you're asked when you're getting evaluated. Yeah, I would really like to know what's in that paperwork that his attorney did in 2023 versus what the defense is requesting now.
And my lawyer just wanted to get something up to date because it had been a few years. So,
Okay, gotcha. Tell me.
So they wanted to get something up to date, but that information isn't going to be used. Make that make sense. Wonder what was in that information. Under Your Scars is here. Thank you so much for coming in. Oh, going out for anniversary dinner, Under Your Scars. Happy anniversary, hun. Rowan is here. Good to see you. Yeah, he ain't nothing but a bully boy, is he? Okay. I just want to. He's a bully, could never pick on someone his own size, and yet he loves to play the victim card. Exactly. Those prisoners will beat the blank out of him. He is a child predator. Yeah. Kaya was here. Good to see you, hun. I'm still annoyed. This interview was behind a paywall. How is it helping get Michael's case out in the public? Exactly. It isn't any longer behind a paywall, but it was behind a paywall for a long time. And from what I understand, they had a request. I don't know if it was from law enforcement or what, but there was a request. They were requested to put that behind a paywall. I don't know why. He's too spontaneous to be a psychopath, but psychopath for sure. Sociopath. That's what I always mean to say. Sociopath, not psychopath. A lot of these diagnoses could all be connected to one another, and I agree with that. Yeah, lithium is very dangerous to take if you're not on the right kind of on the right dosage. Yeah, or he could have even been misdiagnosed with all of that since he was so young. How does somebody so young, under 10 years old, get, diagnosed with bipolar disorder? That's kind of strange. I mean, even at 11, even at 14 years old, like, that's really kind of strange. And it's really hard. Some of these things that he was diagnosed with at an early age are even hard to diagnose a grown adult with these things. And let's face it, doctors in our country, some are good and some are bad. And the most of the time, at least in my own experience, they're bad. They're not great. And, he could have been misdiagnosed with any of the things that he's been diagnosed with. And how do we know that he was diagnosed with all of those things when he was young? Is it another lie by Stacey Wondra to play this victim, to play, oh, poor pitiful me, I have all these problems, so it's okay for me to harm a child. It's okay for me to abduct Michael Vaughan. Chaos Mama is here. Thank you so much for coming in. Mental health issues are real, but you have to learn to cope and live in society. No mental health disorder is ever an excuse to do evil things. That's exactly right. I mean, I've gone through my own therapy. It's hard. You have to put in the work, and you have to wake up every day and make the decision. Am I going to have a good day? Am I going to have a bad day? Sometimes it's easy to do and sometimes it's not. But you have to make the choice to make your life better. Yeah, an IQ test at 4 years old. Yeah, Kelly, they often do IQ tests as part of a psychic exam for mental, behavioral, or developmental disorders. Yeah, I agree. Faker. Shannon says they don't want to use it, I'm sure, because it probably shows he can make lucid decisions. And that's exactly what I was trying to say too. Like, if Stacey Wondra is good at what he does, which I believe he is, because he's trying to get out of murder and kidnapping, he knows how to answer certain questions. I mean, if you don't want people to think you're crazy, then you don't say, you're suicidal. If you don't want people to think that you're depressed, you don't say things like, I sleep all day, or I have bad thoughts. I mean, there are ways to answer certain questions. And if he's checking the box of all of the really bad things because he's trying to manipulate in this 2023, evaluation, then yeah, they probably think he's crazy in one way or another. There are certain things you can do to persuade those kinds of tests. I know those questionnaires. I've been in counseling several times in my life. But look at me. I'm here. You have to make choices and decisions. And maybe, just maybe, during that evaluation, they noticed him checking all the boxes that would make him look like he's crazy or has, lots of mental problems. It's not hard to do. And then you just have to pretend to, talk about those problems in a way like you know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm curious too. I want to see it. Okay, let's see. All right, so there's a lot of stuff in here. I want to know what his mom thinks of this now. That's a good one. Under your scars, I'd like to know too. Outdoorsy Life is here. Thank you so much. Miss Rika is here. Yeah, I just watched it like 5 months ago. Yeah, they did. It's not behind a paywall anymore. My husband got misdiagnosed with borderline personality disorder when he had ADHD the whole time. I was misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder the whole entire time because I have a problem with anxiety and I suffer from panic attacks, even though, knock on wood, haven't had one in a long time. And they wanted to, I kept telling them, if you would just help me figure out how to deal with my anxiety, then I wouldn't get depressed, because I was just getting so overwhelmed with all of the anxiety that it would make me depressed. Finally, I got a doctor who decided to take me off of all of the medications that I was on, because there was a handful of them. And when that happened, I was more clear-headed than I've ever been. And then I went in for another evaluation months later, and come to find out I wasn't bipolar. I have anxiety. And I have learned to cope without any medications. Okay. So that is that one. And just for those who may have...
He was 5.
here's Stacey Wondra punching,
you know,
an inmate in the face. 500-pound punch,
I mean,
right there.
you got a 500.
This intermittent explosive disorder, I believe, is a real thing, because we've seen him explode on BRANDI. We've seen how he acts. He just all of a sudden bursts. He can't handle it. Okay, so let's move forward, because I have a lot of stuff. Yeah, Rowan, they're not easy. That's for sure. Panic attacks are crazy. They literally make you feel like you're gonna die, even though you're not. The best thing that I was told during my trauma therapy that I graduated from a couple of years ago was, when you feel like you're gonna have a panic attack, try to find the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So you scan the room, look for red, then you scan the room some more and look for orange, and you do that throughout the entire rainbow, and you continuously do that until your brain stops thinking about this panic attack that you either feel like has came on or that you're actually going through. And the color of the rainbow helped me. Leslie, I have taken it before for my panic attacks too. I mean, Xanax is like one of the things that they give you, and then they don't want to give it to you for very long because they don't want you to get addicted to it. And then it takes this, like here in Washington, doesn't matter how bad your panic attacks are, you might get a couple prescriptions, but after that, then you're on your own, because they won't continue to keep prescribing it over and over and over again. Grounding techniques are good, yes, and they work. They do work. Okay, so now hold on one second, you guys. My beautiful Zane Lily says, I was convinced I was having a heart attack a couple of years ago, and it was just a panic attack. Definitely scary. Yeah, I felt like that too before. It is. It's really bad. Okay, so I'm trying to think what else I want to go through here. Let's do this. We're going to talk about Sarah Wondra. Let me just put up another banner. This is from the lab. So credit to Josh for this. Don't know if you guys remember this, but Sarah Wondra's ex comes onto, well, first shows up in comments. This is her ex-husband from Texas. Wolf Chambers is his handle name. I think its name is Rick something. And he comes up and talks about Sarah Wondra and what she's capable of. So let's take a listen. This is, I don't even know how long. 17 minutes, but we'll see how much of it we listen to. I just want to get to the point where, you know, he starts talking about the goodies.
On the television as well.
Oh, all good. You're keeping up with this case. Have you talked to anybody yet? Like, have you been interviewed?
Sir. Yes, no, I have not been interviewed. I was spoken to. I can't remember the detective's name, but she spoke with me and told me about a 6-year-old boy that went missing, and she told me his name was Michael Vaughan, and I didn't know anything about it. What she called me for was simply to get information about.
And right here at the bottom of the screen, you can see this guy, Sarah's ex-husband, is contacted by Fruitland Police Department last year that informed him about Michael Vaughan's going missing, his abduction. So somebody contacted him.
There.
Okay. And I don't want you to say anything that, you know, could be detrimental to the case or anything like that, but were you able to provide them with anything?
Yes, sir.
So
Outdoorsy Life says anxiety and panic attacks are horrible. I suffered with them since my daughter passed from meningitis. Breathing therapy helps. I'm so sorry that you lost your daughter, hun. I'm sending you hugs right now. So sorry. And yes, breathing therapy does help. I like doing those body scans at night before you go to bed, or even body scans in the morning when you wake up. You just basically go through all your body, relax your hands, your face, you know, your chest, and move either from your toes to your head or your head to your toes, relaxing every muscle that you possibly can. The body scans, you know, you can look those up on YouTube.
Me just ask you, can I ask you about Sarah a little bit?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming up here, and so does everybody that's watching here.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a little bit about, so you don't know Stacey, but how long were you married to Sarah?
Briefly, it was like 6 months.
Okay. 6 months. And where are you from? Idaho as well?
No, sir. I was married to her when I lived in Texas.
Okay. Because there was talk of her going to Texas.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So ultimately 6 months. How long were you guys together before that?
On and off. We knew each other for about 2 years.
Okay. And then you got married, and obviously no kids. I'm
No,
assuming
sir.
you didn't get your nuts crushed by a bull.
No, I actually have a son and a daughter, so my nuts are just fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So
thank you,
Josh
sir.
with his nuts crashed by a bull.
I mean, if you don't mind, what ultimately led to the divorce?
Well, she had a meltdown about me not being able to give her any children because I wasn't trying to. And basically, she had me incarcerated under false accusations. And so I basically told her, I want you gone. I want a divorce. And inevitably, that's what happened.
And is that something you guys fought about a lot?
Well, our marriage.
And here I thought he had said that he left Sarah because of what he's going to be talking about. But he left Sarah because she wanted to have kids. And he's like, hell no.
It was only 6 months, but no, sir, it wasn't a lot of fighting.
Yeah. So what she wanted you to give her a kid. Same thing that you heard. And what is it? She just wanted to be a mother. I mean, was that it?
She had a daughter when she was 17 years old. The story she told me, I cannot confirm this to be true. I can only say what she told me. She said Ed and Kay Ramsey made her give her child up for divorce.
Clear, and that she was forced to give up.
Not.
So that was kind of new. Okay, I got you. So that was kind of new. Okay, I got you. That's
yes, sir. Very new.
Josh did ask him if Sarah Wondra was religious, and he said absolutely not. So Sarah has not been religious her entire life. So when she goes off on TikTok about the time that Michael Vaughan, you know, is abducted to many, many months later, you know, it's all because she's done lost her shit. She's lost it. She is leaning on God for whatever help she thinks she needs because, you know, she's going through a mental crisis because of either something that she had done to Michael or something she witnessed or saw, some unimaginable horror, and it took her down mentally. I believe that.
Okay. You think she's capable of what she's been accused of?
It's funny you asked me that because the detective did ask me what I thought about it. And I said, when it comes to kidnapping, yes, she is capable of it. I don't know if she's capable of murder. I can't say that she is.
She ever talk about kidnapping?
Yes.
With you,
that's
she
one of
did?
the things that that's one of the things that led to me saying "C'est la vie."
So he did want to leave her. And yes, you heard that right. Sarah Wondra had talked about kidnapping before with her ex-husband.
So she wanted to kidnap a kid.
No. She just talked about kidnapping in general, never anything about children.
Wow. And what would she say?
Oh, well, she would talk about mainly.
Kelly and Chad is saying Rick here, this Wolf Chambers, also has a fascination with his truck, chloroform, and his pew-pew. And Zane Lilly says exactly, Sarah is scared of going to the hot place. She is definitely scared. She does not. Rogue, mind blown. These parents of all these suspects could have done better, in my opinion.
Just, how it would be interesting to have someone to go into some stranger's house and basically take control of them, be able to tie them up. And I told her, I said, you need to seek professional help. That's not normal.
Sarah Wondra talked about kidnapping somebody, taking control of them, tying their hands up. And then what? What was Sarah's plan then? What was she going to do with these people, this person, or whatever her fantasy was after the fact, after kidnapping them, after tying them? Then what? Did she have more of a fantasy like, okay, and then I'm going to hurt them, kill them? What? I'm going to turn around and walk out the door and just go? Sarah Wondra, what were you going to do after that? What else was your fantasy, part of your sick mind? What were you thinking?
Wow. I mean, that is, yeah, you're right. That's not normal. And you just must have, I mean, were you just shocked by that?
I was scared by that.
And was this towards the end of your marriage?
Yes, sir.
He said that he was scared of that. That's 3 different people who allege Sarah talked about kidnapping. Zane is saying, yes, that is true, because we have Rick and remind me who the other 2 people are, because there is oh my gosh, it was just on the top of my head. Another person that came up on Justin's panel also said that Sarah took a pew-pew to Adrian Lucien, smacked him in the head with it, and they were on the couch talking about kidnapping somebody. And I can't remember who the third person was. What do you mean you're blocked, Gemini? I'm sorry about that. I'm blocked with certain people, so I can't chat. Makes no sense. I will catch up later. Love to you all.
Do you think that she would cover up an accident? Like say,
you're right. I believe it was Brandon.
say something went wrong and when they were kidnapping Michael, and say it was an intentional homicide or whatever,
But we got to the goodie. Thank you, Josh, for that. I appreciate the work that you do One of my favorite channels to watch. It was Stacey's ex-coworker. Stacey's ex-coworker, or Sarah, I don't know. It was either Sarah or Stacey's. Yeah, and he came over for dinner, and he was sitting down. He was in the kitchen. He heard some conversation between Adrian Lucien and Sarah Wondra. They were sitting on the couch together. She starts mentioning kidnapping. Adrian Lucien kind of laughed at her about it, and that's when she got a pew-pew out of the couch and smacked him in the head with it. Freaks this guy out, and he left. It just completely freaked him out. Matter of fact, I was actually interviewing him with Justin on Clutch Them Pearls, and during that time, he also mentioned that during the spring of 2021, he starts talking about this guy. And then Justin starts asking him a bunch of questions like, did he have an afro? Did he have tattoos? And the guy said yes. And then he pulls up a picture of Adrian Lucien, and the guy's like, oh my God, that's him. And that's when me and Justin both were like, because we've been trying to figure out when exactly Adrian Lucien got to Fruitland, and here's this guy who is saying that he sees Adrian sitting next to Sarah on a couch in spring of 2021. I immediately asked him straight up, like, are you willing to talk to law enforcement about this? And he was like, well, I'd have to look at receipts. I'd have to do this. I'd have to do that. But he has talked to law enforcement about this. So Kimberly, I just can't remember right now if it was Stacey or Sarah's. Rowan, yes, friggin' psychos. I remember that dude said he never went back again. Yep. Yep. And I would love everybody to stay to the end. There's a beautiful video that I'm going to play that somebody created a couple of years ago. I watched it last night. It's one of the most beautiful videos that I have seen anybody do on Michael Vaughan. And since yesterday was the 5-year mark of Michael's abduction and murder, I really just want to play that. I'm going to try to do as many lives as I can this week. I'm hoping. I don't even know how to make a complaint or ask for help from StreamYard, guys. Like, it took me so long to get this up to date. And if I keep having problems, I'm going to be even more irritated because I pay a lot of money for my StreamYard and it should be working. But anyway, I just want to go over things. And then here we've got Sarah Wondra and her TikToks. Who remembers these?
I don't deserve half the stuff I've been given. Not even anything, really. God just keeps blessing me and I don't deserve it.
I'm trying to see what month this is. It's 2022-4/01. God keeps blessing me and I just don't deserve it. Sarah Wondra is feeling awfully bad for something.
I can't pay it back. I do that a lot, but I want to put out there that I have been.
The thing here says some of the sins God is saving me from because I don't deserve it.
Saved from a lot of sin. The reason why I trust in God so much is because I have so much to be saved from. For instance, I've committed robbery. Oregon, if you want to look that up. I've lied. I've cheated. I've hated my sister for a while. A long time I hated my sister, but God's helped me overcome that. I hated my brother for molesting me for a long time, and He's helped me overcome that. And I've hurt people. I've cheated on them.
What was that she just said? I've hurt people? I've hurt people, she says. Oops.
Long time, and He's helped me overcome that. And I've hurt people. I've cheated on them. I've
hurt people. Who'd you hurt? Michael Joseph Vaughan? Who'd you abduct? Michael Joseph Vaughan. We know you have hurt people.
I've been divorced and remarried. So
sorry you didn't get a notification. I'm having problems with StreamYard. What I would do, like, it's 3:23 here. I started at 2. So I've been here for an hour and a half. I've been trying to set up all my lives at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Is just come over to the channel and check it out. I know that sucks, but StreamYard, BRANDI just got done saying it took her like 15 times before it finally let her set up her thing. So StreamYard's having a problem. And yeah, it's taken me so long that nobody's getting notifications. Thank you for coming in, Chuck Anderson's granddaughter. So the reason you're not getting a notification is because my lives aren't even being posted up to YouTube till shortly before I go live. So just try to check and know that if I go live this week, it's probably going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I don't know what time that is for anybody else.
I'm an adulteress. Then again, I don't know if he cheated me or not, but that's not the point. I mean, I've committed so much sin that I know I hung Jesus on the cross with my sin, which that makes me a murderer because I killed the Lord God.
That makes me a murderer. That makes me a murderer. We all know that Jesus went on the cross for our sins, that He died, and she's saying that her sins made her a murderer because Jesus died, but she says she's a murderer.
God on a tree, and He still is willing to save me and work through me. I'm just grateful that I even get to even think about going to heaven. And He saved me from myself.
Right there towards the end of that one, she got all kinds of emotional.
People always ask why a loving God would let murder and hate and horrible things happen to you. Well, here's the thing. First of all, it's kind of our own fault. We sin. So, but anyway, God lets those things happen to us because He gave us free will. And because sin is rampant, because we chose to sin, there's also a curse with that, right? But also, other people's sins affect you, and my sin affects other people, because sin is...
Your sin did affect other people. Your sin has made the Vaughan family live through a nightmare for the past 5 years. Nightmare and heartache. And that's because of you, Sarah. That is because of you, because of Stacey Wondra, because of Adrian Lucien and Brandon Shurtleff. You know you're guilty of something. Look at how much Sarah here, I mean, just like her probable cause affidavit says, all she does is talk about sin, talk about repenting, talking about God forgiving her. Yes, she is having a mental breakdown, but all she can think about is needing this forgiveness from God for this horrific thing that she has done, saw, witnessed, whatever it is.
Ugly and it's messy and it doesn't stay in its own pile of sin. It splatters out like blood and it literally covers other people with the sin that you're.
It splatters with blood. What?
There's also a curse with that, right? But also, other people's sins affect you, and my sin affects other people. Because sin is ugly, and it's messy, and it doesn't stay in its own pile of sin. It splatters out like blood.
It doesn't stay in the pile of sin. It splatters out like blood. Her analysis here is actually, to me, pretty friggin' creepy. Just saying.
And it literally covers other people with the sin that you're putting out there. So when Jesus covers you with his blood, he's spattering out his grace over your life, over all the people that choose to accept his gift.
And yes, you guessed it. Hubby's home. Cat is meowing. Hubby's taking a shower. Then he will feed Mister. So you're going to be hearing my cat, my little Mister, Mr. Butts.
Because really, everyone can accept his gift. Some people choose not to. Some people, they just unfortunately never knew that there was a gift, because some of us believers didn't go out there and tell them. But one thing I haven't talked about is forgiveness, and I've had to experience forgiveness a lot on my end, and me giving forgiveness, because I've done a lot of things. I've hurt a lot of people's hearts, and I've done a lot of bad things that I've had to confess to God and to the person I wronged, you know.
Has she told the Vaughn family what she's done and that she's sorry? Think not. But do you guys see how she's trying to get that forgiveness from God? How she's talking about these horrible things and horrible wrongs that she has done? How she has hurt people? And this is all after Michael Vaughan's been abducted and murdered. Sarah Wondra is a named suspect.
So
this is a t-shirt that Sarah Wondra wrote on, saying Jesus is coming soon.
Jesus is calling me. Today,
Lynn here, this is Brandi's sister. Like ripples in a pond is the saying, not splatter like blood splatter. Confessing and repenting are different. I can't say what Sarah Wondra is because I'm a Christian woman. Oh, I could only guess. Your actions affect others. And then BRANDI, got to see Sarah Wondra when she went into the courtroom. She was there. She took Tanner Butler's, what was it, grandmother or mother to court that day. And the look that she gave BRANDI was one of being kind of scared, but at the same time, a smirk on her face, just really freaky. Chaos Mama says she got TikTok to see her unhinged videos, and they're all gone now. I'm pretty sure law enforcement took all her TikToks down, or her accounts down. Is that why she went out with her Jesus sign after she abducted Michael? Yep, I think so. I have never heard anyone compare themselves to a murderer for sinning. Exactly. Her TikToks were creepy, and I watched them all. I took 13 minutes worth of clips that were all like the creepiest ones that I can find, or the ones that were the worst. I actually tried to go back recently to see her TikToks again because I wanted to start taking more clips, but found that those are gone. Her TikToks are now gone because her fear of being big man upstairs, we can only hope that she's the weakest link and sing like a canary. You're right, McSporn. Let's just hope that she does. And, the Vaughan family can get some kind of peace and have Michael home. Leslie says here, welcome in. She makes me ill. She's so delusional. Sarah Wondra, child abductor, child harmer, nasty S-pimp. Yes, Tanner's mom. Thank you. Let's keep going.
Got called to go stand on a corner and hold some signs for Jesus. And I've never done this before, but or felt like, well, no, I feel like I felt the need that I need to go do it, and maybe just didn't do it for a while.
Welcome in, Sierra.
I wanted to hold the sign where I wanted to hold the sign, but God wanted me to hold the sign next to the weed shop.
God wanted her to hold that sign.
But God's bigger than your storm or your disease or whatever's going on. So I'm living proof of that because I'm diabetic and my blood sugar, according to these things, have been almost consistently between like 300, sometimes even up to 600.
I agree. It's like she's telling on herself without actually telling on herself. Exactly. And because she's so mentally disturbed from whatever unimaginable horror she did or saw, she is leaning on God. That's exactly what my mom did whenever she lost it, before she would end up in the mental institution. She would hold on to God like it was everything. She would start talking about the end of the world and everything, just like Sarah Wondra does. My cat's going crazy right now.
Basically where the
and if you look right over her shoulder right there, Michael Vaughan hanging up on the refrigerator. These 4 suspects are living in this home. They have abducted and murdered Michael Vaughan, and they leave a picture of him on the refrigerator like it's some kind of trophy or something. It's just sickening.
Medicine tells you that you're going to be in a coma, like, or you should have already been in a coma. It's been like that for like years now. Still walking around, cleaning my house, praising Jesus. Barely taking my medicine that they gave.
Kelly, I know you take a lot of screen recordings. If you have ones that you are seeing are not here, you can, I don't care how many there are, send them to me in Messenger, please, please, please. Any that you have of her on TikTok. I can go through them and look to see if I have them or not, but there were a few that I did not take any screen recordings of that I really wish I would have. And I know how many screen recordings you take, girl.
Me, because I can't afford a bunch of new ones and there was a bunch of problems, but I decided to just trust God for it, and yeah, still walking around. Got energy. Maybe not a lot, but I got energy, and God's given me my life. I'm not in a coma. I'm still here speaking the things of God.
She thinks she doesn't need any medication for her diabetes because God's going to get her through it. She's type 1 diabetic and needs insulin, from what I understand, not a type 2. I don't take medication for my type 2 diabetes. You can't do that when you're a type 1.
If you don't know what time we live in, man, you better jump on board. We live in the time of the end. So when I was 14 years old, I used to lock myself in the room and just dive into Revelation. I gotta tell you, I didn't necessarily understand all of it at that time. And you know, sometimes even now, God's gotta remind me of some things. But I don't speak on it unless God proves it to me.
That's true, Rhoda, because that's all she does. She rambles. If I was a detective, I would listen without trying to poison my mind. Then I would say, stop the rambling and tell me what you have done.
So I've been going through some serious tests of faith. You know, I walk around out here outside. I got like my arms. It says Jesus is coming. Jesus.
Got on my arms, Jesus is coming. She's going from writing on her t-shirts to carrying signs at a weed shop outside, you know, talking about the end is near and all of the stuff and time to repent. Now she's literally marking on her arms. She was writing scripture on her arms.
Lives. Chosen through Christ, right? Okay. But I gotta tell you, there's like a little enemy inside me. The enemy is like whispering in my ear when I go into stores and things. He's like, they're gonna reject you. They're gonna be evil toward you. And you're gonna have to stand that. Hide your arms, Sarah. Hide your hand. Don't let anybody see you. And you know what makes me kind of sick is at first, you know, I was like, I almost caught myself almost doing that. And then I realized it was the enemy trying to get me to deny Jesus in front of people. So I had to like, no, I'm going to show my...
She's only worried about people looking at her and everything else because she knows she looks batshit crazy walking around with scriptures and all kinds of stuff written all over her arms.
I'm going to walk in there. I'm not going to be ashamed. Church, you need to wake up. Seriously. I don't know if you don't realize like what time we're living in or where we're living.
You can look at her arms in this video too. She still has the stuff on her arms, different stuff. She takes it off, she redoes it, she'll leave it on. When it starts to fade, she darkens it back up.
We are living in Mystery Babylon. Revelation 17 through 19, 1 through 5.
Yes, he did.
Go read it.
Allie. His were tattoos. He would draw out things and they'd look like tattoos.
Just have crazy spiritual, crazy experience. Like, I don't even know how to explain this test that I just had to go through. It was just pray for me, brothers and sisters in Christ.
Some of these videos do look like she's on rugs. You are right. Because in some of these videos, I mean, like, her eyes are barely open. She's slurring her words in some of them. Yeah, she doesn't make sense, or she doesn't even act like a little coherent or something. She is trying to I don't know. She's trying to talk and say all of these things, and at the same time doesn't make sense. I do believe either she was heavily medicated or on rugs for sure. Yeah, I don't know what kind of test she's talking about.
Just overwhelming. God is on the throne.
Holy Sharpie, Batcat. See her.
I just wanted to let you know that when you're listening to people,
I can't hear anybody in the background. When I'm using these headphones, I can barely even hear what she's saying, so I'm not really hearing.
telling you things from God, when they're telling you scripture. Okay, sorry. The enemy's trying to distract me with vanity. Okay. The time for grace is almost up. Now is the time to decide. Are you for God? Are you for Christ? Or are you against Him? So we have a refrigerator and a TV from Rent-A-Center that we're renting, which today we're giving back the TV because we can't afford it, and well, we don't really need a TV anyway. All it does is bring evil really into the house unless we're very careful guarding our hearts.
Yeah, I don't know, Shannon.
But I was just sleeping, and because I've been so tired that I've come to start sleeping during the day. Because at night
this is where
I'm seriously torn.
she starts talking about how she can't sleep. She's not sleeping. Why, Sarah? Why aren't you sleeping? Because of the nightmares? Because of the nightmares that you're having because of what you did to Michael Joseph Vaughan, or what you saw somebody else do to Michael? Yes. It's guilt. It's guilt, and she lost her shit. Seriously. I believe she is going through some kind of spiritual attack. I really do.
Sometimes by these spiritual attacks, but oh man, just please pray for me. I don't know. I know God is coming. Jesus is coming. don't ever want to be found sleeping.
I also believe she's having panic attacks.
Just help me by praying for me. Just lift me up to God the Father.
Yeah. She did something, saw something, something. Let me see what else I got here. I have got a bunch of stuff here pulled up. Let me pull something else up because where is it? Sorry, I'm trying to plan something. Here's some of Sarah's Facebook posts and Stacey's. The one with the picture of Michael on the fridge, Stacey Wondra changing his profile picture on July 31st, the last day of July 2021, just days after Michael was abducted, which is just really strange and unusual. It is like another trophy. Stacey Wondra tells somebody, no, this is a child that went missing in our neighborhood and has been gone for 5 days and no one can find him. He is only 5 years old. And they know exactly. He knows exactly. And he posts another picture of Michael down below. He knows exactly what happened to Michael. Stacey Wondra is sharing something by the Argus Observer about Michael missing. And this was July 28th, the day after Michael came up missing or was abducted. And then here is a post by, here, I need to, oh, where was that? Here, I want to pause this. Sarah post November 1st of 2021, so months after, let's see, 4 months after Michael was abducted, she says, watch out. You are walking into traps. Guard your children. Take it from me, I promise. What does take it from me mean? Guard your children. Take it from me, I promise. She knows that she abducted Michael, or Stacey abducted Michael, or Brandon, or Adrian. And here she is saying, guard your children. Take it from me, I promise. Like she knows for a fact how it goes. And it's a public school thing she's talking about. And then she is posting about her faith taxi, which we went through this the other day, so I'm not going to go through that. And then this is just more of the faith taxi stuff. And here, this is, you know, Wolf Chambers talking about being contacted by Fruitland police. Excuse me a second. That's a bit better. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he thought it would throw people off if he was posting it, maybe. It's so disgusting. And then what about, Stacey Wondra calls in police, and let's just see. Stacey Wondra calls in the police, and then they go to the house with a search warrant, and here's Sarah Wondra. This is what she said when police got to the Wondra's house. Officials said that Sarah Wondra maintained that she definitely did not kill that boy. Let me take away my banner thing here for a second. It's here. Hold on. I got to be able to read this, and I can't do it with it here. So just going to take it down for a second. It says officials said Sarah Wondra maintained that she definitely did not kill the boy and said, "The Most High God already told me who did it." She reportedly told police, "Oh, wow, the Most High God just told me that Stacey was the one who killed him and buried him in the yard of the neighbor's house." Then asked later to show police where the boy was buried. According to the affidavit, she told police a spot near the entry of her residence and said Stacey had buried him in the backyard by the shed. And that's also what Stacey Wondra said to detectives when they came to dig up the yard, and that's also where cadaver dogs hit. So now you have Sarah and Stacey both saying that Michael was buried by the shed. Police said by this point, they had begun hand digging a portion of the Wondra's yard based on information received from Stacey, who had not been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. And this is November of 2022. Stacey has already confessed to detectives about Michael's body being buried in their backyard. They come with a search warrant, and this is what Sarah Wondra is telling detectives. It wasn't clear when or why police had spoken with Stacey Wondra. Sarah Wondra was arrested and told police, "God just told me that Stacey was the one who did it," adding that she knew the body was in the neighbor's yard because that's what Stacey just told me. And then corrected herself and said that's what God told her, according to the affidavit. She allegedly reiterated to police that she had nothing to do with Michael's disappearance. She said her husband buried Michael in the backyard by the shed, but wasn't the one who actually harmed the boy. She said instead that a man identified only as Adrian had been the one that had done it, and he was scared to tell anybody. So there she's throwing Stacey and Adrian under the bus. The Stacey Wondra says that he saw Sarah and Adrian Lucien burying Michael in the backyard. Sierra says, have you checked the Internet Archive to see if any content has indexed there that you hadn't recorded? There may be nothing, but it's always possible there's content there. I have looked at Stacey and Sarah's Facebook. Yeah, she knows. She knows. Pretty Assessor, I have no pity for any of those wretched people. They didn't have any for Michael, won't tell the truth, and won't return Michael. Exactly. McSporn's trying so hard not to go crazy. That boy, ugh. Say his name, Sarah. They can't say Michael's name. Had an audible eye roll when you read how rapidly she turned on him, right? They walk in the door, and even Chris Madonna tells Stacey on that footage, we see it. You know, we weren't in here but a couple of seconds or something like that, he says, and Sarah has already turned on you and is blaming you for everything. Shannon is saying, I just thought of this. I wonder if her referencing to God this whole time is her referencing Stacey. Just think about it and put his name in there versus God. Yeah, I will do that. Okay, and then since we started talking about Adrian Lucien, why not just keep talking about Adrian Lucien? But let me just give you guys a reminder. 16 RSOs connected to the Wondras, Brandon Shirtliff, and Adrian Lucien. 16 are just in this, but there are over 20. And a pretty big handful of them are directly connected to Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucien. That's a lot of RSOs. That is an awful lot. Now, we've all talked about Adrian Lucien and how he likes to scam people, and this is a girl that he tried to not only use her profile picture, but also asked her if she would become a lady of the night for him to make some money off of her.
I don't know what her name was verbatim, but she had drove a gold Cadillac. And she was just this preppy girl, like super young. I don't know. I think she had like.
This is a picture of that girl that drove the Cadillac that Stacey Wondra is talking about.
Red hair or something, but like just preppy.
You can see down at the bottom that picture of her was on Adrian Lucien's profile.
You know, like had everything given to her.
Right here, liked by Adrian Lucien, so not on his profile, but this proves that they were friends.
Handed it out to her, you know, and like it threw red flags, you know. But he was always constantly like he was always either going to Caldwell or Nampa or Boise.
Really, a chick threw red flags, but not the things Adrian was into, or the real reason you had him stay with you, Stacey?
But every time he went, it was he claimed to go see a female, and sometimes it was the same female on different occasions. But he was like most of the time he wasn't home during the day. He was always out trying to, get with some.
More about the scam that Adrian was trying to run. Isn't that a scam known use for human trafficking?
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything other than that he had approached it that night, and I shut it down.
Adrian had approached it that night, and Stacey said he shut it down, even though Stacey Wondra has said before he didn't know anything about it, that Sarah and Adrian were the ones doing all the scamming.
So whether he was doing it after, like behind my back, and if Sarah knew something about it, then that's like between them. I cannot speak on that.
Okay, so you don't know if Sarah met any of those men?
No, and I would have been like, I shut that down when she had approached that initially.
And then says, I shut that down when she had approached it. So first he says he shut it down because Adrian was talking about it, and then he says he shut it down because Sarah Wondra, was talking about scamming. What does Adrian's unnamed friend, Emily, have to say? And this is a discussion with that particular young lady that Adrian was trying to make, you know, lady of the night. We have those messages. Oh my gosh, I forgot how small this was. He was most likely in and out of Fruitland. I don't think I was with him that day, although he did hang out with, or I did hang out with him a few times that summer. I don't think more than like 4 times. That's what she's saying. She hung out with him like 4 times. And then it says, I don't want to know if y'all doing... Oh my gosh, I cannot read this. Just asking her basically what if Adrian was trying to get her to do. Talking again about being in Fruitland and only seeing him about 4 times. And then she said, this is the most important part. She says, he wanted to pimp me, probably wanted to use my picture and stuff to scam people, but I wouldn't let him. I feel like I saw him one time after that, or he tried to contact me at least, and he acted weird. Saying that Adrian wanted to make her a ladies of the night, wanted to use her profile picture, and that Adrian had acted really weird after Michael's abduction. Saying he wanted to pimp her. Is pimping indicative of human trafficking? I mean, and this is something that Adrian's been doing for a very, very long time. And then I have this. Adrian Lucian is telling Alexi that, and this is Alexi, this sucks. This is the Alexi person. Can't ever pronounce his last name. Somebody that Adrian Lucian was friends with that was there in Idaho at the time that Michael Vaughan was abducted. This is one of Alexi's bad pictures. He's holding a GUN down here at the bottom in these pictures. This is one of his TikTok profiles. He's having a conversation with Adrian Lucian on TikTok. Adrian Lucian starts screenshotting things and then starts talking about it, but he ends up removing them all. So thank God somebody out there is taking screenshots. He says that, dumbass, you tried to kill me though. You also tried to kill me. I hope, or dumbass, you tried to kill me. I hope God has mercy on you. You did all this for what? Hope whoever put you up to this paid you good. We talking about a boy and you trying to kill me. This ain't life, or this ain't snitching. You're playing with my life and others. Hope you receive instant karma. Lame. Here he's saying boy. What do they call Michael? Boy. He's talking about Michael. He is talking about Alexi trying to kill him. He is talking about the fact that he ain't snitching and you are playing with my life. Because something here is going on. And then, so Alexi starts, deleting his account when he realizes Adrian is screenshotting his stuff. You see, he deleted his page immediately. Stopped trying to find clues from someone who knows nothing other than I was set up to live there. And they tried to kill me by carbon monoxide. So let me get my name and image back. Defamation lawsuit, because he's saying that everybody is making up stuff. This is another conversation between Alexi and Adrian Lucian. You have no soul, bro. And then Adrian says, you set me up and I don't have a soul. Ha ha. And Alexi says, yep. All coming from Adrian Lucian's. And if you see here, you can see that this is Alexi's profile saying, yep, that's why that's blown up there. All posted by Adrian on his TikTok and later taken down because he realizes, oh shit, I can't believe I posted this up on my TikTok. Hope nobody got it. I pray they find Michael Vaughan. He even hashtags him. I was set up by this guy talking about Lexi. And also they tried to kill me by carbon monoxide poisoning. I'm a God-fearing, loving person. I pray they find him. I'm not about to play with these Idaho people, bro. Set me up. Fruitland, hashtag Adrian Lucian explore page, TikTok viral. Hi, Trish. Good to see you, hun. And then these are Adrian Lucian's comments again. Stop the madness. I know y'all want me to be a part of this so bad, but I literally know nothing about the little boy, but I do know the Wondras are crazy. I don't know nothing other than I was set up to live there by a white boy, and they tried to kill me by carbon monoxide while I was living there. Another post by Adrian Lucian. All you fake news bloggers, get facts before you speak on my name. And I said I was set up for me to live with the Wondras. He was set up to live at the Wondras, basically admitting the fact that before he goes to live with them, he was set up to live with them. This is proving the fact that Sarah and Adrian met each other on an app and he came to Fruitland to live there. I know nothing about the little boy. I never seen him at all while I was there, but I do know this guy set me up to live there. Wondras were 20 minutes from my son's house. So miss me on allbs setup.com. Setup.com. What a dork. Okay, Callie, no problem. Thank you. So A, you're not only one that has to pay the piper. You're trying to kill me. You had a combo with the twins. They were supposed to kill me in Portland. And these are the Pope twins that I've talked about before that tried to kill Adrian Lucian in Portland when Sarah Wondra, Stacey Wondra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shurtleff all got in a vehicle and left to go far down south, almost to California, to Grants Pass, Oregon. And he talks about the twins here. He brings up the Pope twins. He brings up the Pope twins, and the Pope twins find out that they've been brought up and they get pissed. And we're going to hear that recording in just a second. And I believe that the others had tried to set Adrian up to be killed in Portland, Oregon. Did y'all really kill that baby boy? That's what Adrian's saying, y'all. Did y'all really kill that baby boy, or did y'all just like relocate him somewhere? What? Adrian? Y'all so effed up, y'all, for harming kids. What the F? Adrian Lucian says these things. His own words, his own posts, his own text messages. He knows more than he says. And You can't know these things, Adrian, unless you saw something, unless you know something. And that's why it's so important, if you were set up, to go down and talk to law enforcement. I know you feel bad for what happened to Michael Vaughan. Your plan was not to harm Michael. And when that happened, you didn't want anything to do with it. I know that. But you have to go talk to law enforcement and tell them. Please, Adrian. Adrian says, for the enemy, I pray for you and your heart. My God, show you the truth. It's so sad. All you fake news bloggers be trying to solve shit with no concrete evidence, but I have proof I was framed and almost killed in that house, silly. Okay, so if you have proof, Adrian, come on. Come talk to Fruitland. Show them the proof. Show them that you were set up. And then Adrian says, turn yourself in, bro, before yo people take shit into their own hands. Because once you get knocked, you telling they gonna slam you, dumbass, for all this stupid shit. Effing lame. And then might want to take this to Miss Renee. And Miss Renee was the person, it was like his person when he was going to, oh my gosh, it was his something mom. Oh gosh. It was like she ended up assaulting Adrian and several other, well, not even an assault, having with all the boys in the college there in Idaho in Twin Falls. Twin Falls is a big word here because that's where the Pope twins come from. And he went to school in Twin Falls. He knows people in Twin Falls. And Renee Marcin was actually like his, not a coach, but just like a mom figure that you would go to get help from if you needed it while he was going to the college. And that is Alexi that the arrow was pointing down to, the redhead, and Renee there in the middle. So even Alexi knew who Renee was, this mom that's supposed to be helping these kids, but she ends up having with all of them. I know who Renee is. She was my, booster mom. That's what it's called. At CSI, that's the College of Southern Idaho. And she was known to have sexual relationships with the men on the basketball team. And then this just goes over what a booster mom is. This is a song that Adrian Lucian did. Tonight, they set me the F Up edition in 2023. See Adrian Dumb with his little heart with the arrow going through it. His profile on SoundCloud. Somebody finna come up, shout out tonight. I'm not saying the N word. They set me F Up edition. Basically a song written that he ends up taking down because you can't find it anymore. About the fact that he was set up. Hickey McGuire being one of his comments. He came into my Michael Vaughan group with that same heart. This was his profile at the time. He participated in the Michael Vaughan group. It just came in, posted up that heart, and then took it down. Hickey McGuire. There's a picture of him up at the top. Hickey McGuire. One of his fake accounts, because he has many, many, many fake accounts. So there's that. And then, like he was saying, he was set up by the Pope twins, right? Well, here's something for you. Adrian, this is one of the Pope twins sending a message. I can only play this a couple times because YouTube doesn't like me playing it because it is a threat coming from the Pope twins. one of the Pope twins to Adrian. They know good to see you, Purple. They know that Adrian Lucian's talking about them, and you just heard him talking about the twins trying to kill me in Portland, right? Well, they find out that Adrian's talking about them, and they got something to say about that. Listen closely, because I can only play it a couple of times.
Didn't kidnap that kid or kill the kid. So that was completely him. Don't be trying to put it off on me and my brother. I'll fucking smoke you guys myself. I won't be going to jail for smoking a kid. I'll be going there smoking y'all. Fuck around.
Okay, so let's break that down. Let's break that down a little bit. These are twins. They are gang members out of Twin Falls. Let's take another listen.
Didn't kidnap that kid or...
I didn't kidnap that kid or kill the kid.
Kill the kid. So that was completely him. Don't be trying to...
That was completely him. Don't know who him's talking about. Believe, yeah, or he's talking to Adrian, him. Don't be trying to pin that off on me and my brother.
Put it off on me and my brother. I'll fucking smoke you guys myself.
Or I will effing smoke you myself.
I won't be going to jail for smoking a kid. I'll be going there smoking y'all.
I won't be going to jail for smoking a kid. I'll be going to jail for smoking y'all. Y'all. Then he uses plural. The Pope twins know things.
Fuck around.
And this is the Pope twins, and they have their girls there in high school wearing the blue bandanas on their wrist. They are some pretty bad guys.
A man is in custody after getting into a standoff with police officers over the weekend. Boise police say they responded to reports of someone stealing a car on Vista around 9:15 Sunday night. When they got there, the suspect was still in there and in the car. When police tried to stop him, BPD says he pulled out a gun and took off running. He eventually dropped the gun, but when officers tried to arrest him, they say he pulled out a knife and then started running again. The suspect then ran into a nearby hotel where they say he barricaded himself in a utility closet. During a standoff lasting several hours, police identified the suspect as 20-year-old Christian Pope from Twin Falls. They were able to get a warrant for his arrest. He was arrested without incident and is now facing several charges, including 5 felony counts of assault and battery upon certain personnel. Pope was taken to the hospital for a pre-existing medical condition before he was taken to jail.
For the twins a little bit more in another thing, because I do have a new video I forgot about that I wanted to share about them. And then here is another recording from Adrian Lucian.
You will be tied up in the missing kids case with the Wondras. He says.
Voice is J. He was a source of mine. I'm just using the initial J. A source of mine. He was friends with Adrian Lucian since like 1st or 2nd grade. I talked to him for a very long time, and he's talking back and forth with Adrian on Instagram, and I'm recording the conversation as he's telling me things, and this is very important here.
I never thought you would be tied up in the missing kids case with the Wondras.
He was telling Adrian, I never thought that you would be tied up with the missing kids case with the Wondras.
He said sacrifice went wrong. This never happened.
Adrian said sacrifice went wrong
Before, but I'm the traitor. He told me about the Wondras with Brandon and them. But he deleted the part where he said, y'all niggas trafficking kids.
Jay dropped the bombshell on me because I was flabbergasted. We had been trying to get Adrian to say something worth of value, and Adrian Lucian says to Jay, y'all trafficking kids, and then deletes it. But thank God Jay took a screenshot.
I screenshot it though, but he deleted it.
Y'all was trafficking kids?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he did say that. He deleted it.
But you got it in a screenshot?
Yeah.
And then here are the messages that were sent to me. Jay says, I would never thought that you would be tied up in a missing kids case with the Wondras. And Adrian says, sacrifice went wrong. This never happened before, but I'm the traitor. Sacrifice went wrong. Michael Vaughan ended up being killed when he wasn't supposed to. I am pretty sure that's what Adrian is saying here. I'm just waiting for this video. That's Adrian Lucian. You guys are playing them. And then Adrian says, y'all N-word traffic kids. Y'all traffic kids is what Adrian Lucian said. Sheesh. I don't know if they can use this in trial against him or not, but they can against Adrian. Adrian has knowledge, and he just doesn't want to talk. This was one of the recent pictures. And in this message, who tried to kill who, huh? Bro? We on IG. He's saying, we're on Instagram. Who tried to kill you? We can't be talking like that. Adrian is telling Jay, we can't be talking about this. We're on Instagram. Okay? And then Jay says, so what? And he goes, shit gang, I don't know. It's families at war. He talks about families being in war. Families like the Pope twins, like the gang members that Adrian Lucian knows, like Alexi, the Wondras, or the Pope twins. And he says, I don't know, bro. I wouldn't talk on this, bro, because he's scared that they're talking on Instagram. People trying to set you up, for sure. And again, just starts talking about being set up. And then down here at the bottom, because I highlighted all the most important things, Jay's like, Pope twins, who are they? And he says, how did Adrian Temple Lucian get the mob on him? Talking about the mob. Sixth Sense, thank you for coming in. Talking about having the mob, having gang members coming after him. Well, gangs typically represent themselves as family. Yes, they do. Let me get my passport. Now he's saying, like, let me get my passport. I'm just going to leave the country because I know people are after me. Passport, and you won't leave the country. You're crazy. You probably shouldn't be talking to me. He's telling his best friend that he has known since first or second grade. He's telling his best friend, you probably shouldn't be talking to me. Like, bro, we are on Instagram. We're talking about this stuff. I'm trying to talk to you, but I don't really want to talk to you because he doesn't want his friend in trouble. He loves his friend Jay, okay, you guys? They have been friends for such a long time, and he didn't want his friend getting caught up in all of this. It's being monitored, he says. It's being monitored. That's the day of Michael Vaughan's abduction. And he says, damn, they used me as the fall man. Of course, you're black, Jay says. I'm not gonna tell if they leave me alone. I'm just trying to make clothes. So he's like, I'm not going to tell on anybody if they leave me alone. Well, guess what, Adrian Lucian? You're not being left alone. Stacey Wondra is throwing you straight under the bus. You helped Sarah abduct Michael Vaughan. That's what Sarah or Stacey says. You helped bury Michael. You're saying that you're set up. So why don't you go talk to law enforcement? And Lana, if you come in on the replay, could you please send this live over to Adrian and tell him to fast forward, because he really needs to understand the severity of all of this. He needs to understand that Adrian Lucian, you are going to go to jail. You're going to spend the rest of your life in prison if you don't talk to law enforcement about what you know. I'm not going to tell if they leave me alone. I'm just trying to make clothes. They used me as the scapegoat and got caught up. Try to use me as a scapegoat and got caught up. Damn. They thought I was the one pimping. Ha ha ha. And this is after he said they're trafficking kids. The price went up. So we've heard that Adrian Lucian and Stacey Wondra got together, created a plan to kidnap a child and sell them so they could all make $10,000 apiece. And here's Adrian Lucian talking about the price going up. Who is his dad? Oh my gosh, you had to ask me that, Kelly, because I was just talking with BRANDI about him the other day. Oh, what is his name? OMG. I cannot remember. I don't know if BRANDI's here and if she remembers. Let me think about that for a second. What is Adrian Lucian's name? Dad's name. The price went up, Adrian said. It's another profile picture of Adrian. I'm trying to share just as much, because if you see Adrian around, let law enforcement know. And then he says, N tried to kill Adrian again, saying that he's being set up. People are trying to kill him. Just take care of my son when they kill me. Because he believes he's going to be, killed. He believes that that's going to happen. And here's the thing. I think the reason why he's so worried about it is because Adrian helped set up the selling of the child, and those people are coming after him because Adrian's the only one that knows who it is. And if that's not true, Adrian, then prove me wrong and go talk to law enforcement. And this is the Hickey McGuire account that he had. And I believe in this, there is another. This is him coming into Michael Vaughan. Sorry, let me just fast forward this. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about this for a second, because Adrian Lucian ends up changing his profile picture to this man. On August 18th, 2006, Majera was arrested at the Colorado Mills Mall in Lakewood, Colorado on suspicion of inappropriately touching two 12-year-old girls. He was released after posting bail of $50,000. And this is the profile picture that Adrian Lucian decides to use. Vincent Majera, November 15th, commonly known as Don Vito, was an American reality television personality. He was known for his appearance in all of these shows, along the sides of Nephew Bam and Brother Phil. But that's who it was, and he decides to. Frank Lucian, thank you so much. Frank Lucian is Adrian Lucian's dad. This is Adrian Lucian getting in trouble for 50 grams of meth in Wood County, valued at $5,000. And as soon as she said Frank, I knew. Like, I knew. And now let's talk about Brandon Shirtliff. You know, so many people think that Brandon Shirtliff isn't hard, and he does try to be very, very hard. And we have messages that he sends to people. Brando Shirt Z, I'm going to effing kill you, BZ. On God, go F yourself, CUNT. He is telling a TikTok creator that is making TikToks about Stacey, Brandon, Sarah, and Adrian, and he messages her and says, I'm going to effing kill you. He is literally threatening to kill somebody. We see you, Brandon. We know you're watching. You always watch. And then this TikTok creator asks him if he assaults boys. Say it again, and if I see you, it's on site. You like little boys, so you're not saying that. Cool. Then we shall smoke you. Again, threatening. Shannon's like, I want to see him message me like that, see how far it gets, right? So many players in this evil plot. And Brandon says, who the F are you and why you keep blasting me on TikTok, mother ducker? If I knew who you were, I might want to skip the tape. You guys hearing this? If I knew who you were, I might want to skip the tape. What did they use on Michael Vaughan? Duct tape. I might want to skip the tape and knock your effing teeth out, pal. 100%. He's literally talking about tape. And it doesn't get any worse than this, Brandon. Trish is trying to catch up. Thank you, love, for coming in. Yeah, the tape. Skip the tape. I'd be happy to meet you in person at the location. You, Sarah, location you and Sarah put Michael, this TikTok creator says. He says, I'd be willing to snipe your head off your effing body if you think I would never do something like that, BZ. Who the F are you, BZ? And who you think you're effing with, BZ? Isn't this a scary Brandon? Threatening to kill somebody, take somebody out, threatening that I won't use the tape this time. Chuck Anderson's granddaughter, thank you so much. She gifted one Missing PNW Crimes Revisited membership, and let's do a little dance. Let's just shake it all off and do a little dance. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for that. And if you received that gifted membership, please give a thanks to Chuck Anderson's granddaughter. And then it goes on, cool, where's Michael? And if that don't work, maybe a duel with swords, he says. What you want to do? I don't know. You tell me, mother trucker, because she asked him about Lake Lowell or under some concrete. Minky, it's okay. You can always go back. You put him in Lake Lowell? I don't know. You tell me, Mother Tucker. You under some concrete? It's effer. Just a FYI. You want me to skip and just hit you with a 100-round clip? Brandon is so stupid. He is. But These are dangerous people. They really are. He tries so hard to like show me respect and everything else when I got him on the phone or when I got him on panel. He tries to play like this country boy that has like so much mad respect, but here he is talking to a woman in a message, calling her all kinds of names and threatened to kill her. That's who Brandon Shurtleff really is. And talking about dual swords and everything else again. I could only load up so much, and I really want to show you guys something else. The kinds of people that, you know, Brandon Shurtleff knew. Let me look this up. Because I don't know. When I first discovered this and when I first talked about this, I didn't have a lot of people. I was a small, little bitty, tiny little channel. And this is crazy to me because we know Michael Vaughan was put into a duffel bag. Many people think maybe the Michael Vaughan was put into Lake Lowell. Here we have Brandon Shurtleff. He's friends with Alex Goldston, who is somebody that he actually used to work with. This is Brandon's TikTok account. He's a friend here, Alex Goldston. He seems to add him immediately whenever he changes his profiles. Brandon Shurtleff and him again. And this is on Alex Goldston's TikTok. Just showing that they're friends, that they know each other. Brando Johnny Shurtleff. And then here is Kevin and Donna Whitehead. I believe that Donna was just somebody that lived with Alex. Their relationship, this is her son, Alex. So they lived in the same house. That's right. Kevin Whitehead and Donna Whitehead, and they lived in Caldwell. And then we know that this is the same Caldwell address and the same address of Alex Goldston. You guys are all probably wondering, like, why is she showing me all this? Well, it just is in relation. So Donald here Idaho SOR offender profile. Donald Schultz. Heather Kennedy. Heather Kennedy is Alex's, or the man that I just showed you. Now I got to back up because I messed up. So this guy here, Donald Schultz, and then this woman here, Heather Kennedy, are together. And also in Caldwell, Idaho, at one point. And this is Heather again. These are also friends of Brandon Shurtleff's and Alex Goldston. Document: Texas mom boyfriend accused of stuffing baby in a tool bag and disposing of the body. And these people that Brandon Shurtleff know, 4 adults, child were living in a trailer with baby, later found deceased in Lake Fort Phantom Hill. And this is the Donald guy. 4 adults and a child were all residents of a trailer home. Now, the residents were Alex Goldston's mom. Brandon Shurtleff was close to Alex and his mom at that address, and close to the pedophile that lived there also, but they moved the pedophile, his girlfriend Heather, and Alex mom and her boyfriend all move down to Texas and go stay in a trailer for adults and a child were all residents of a trailer home where the baby was living in Abilene before she was found dead in Lake Phantom Hill. 2 of those adults, the baby's mother, Heather Kennedy, and her boyfriend, Donald Schultz, have been charged with tampering with a human corpse in connection to the death of a 6-month-old baby named Peyton. This is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. And it's said that these 2 individuals put this baby in a tool bag. A search warrant filed during the investigation reveals baby Peyton was living in a trailer home in Texas Avenue with Kennedy Schultz, 2 other adults related to Schultz, and a 7-year-old child in the days leading up to her death. This does go on, but it gets pretty gruesome, so I don't want to give you guys much more. And here again, like Shannon is pointing out, another Texas connection, and a certain creator is in Texas. Wonder if the connection there is there. Yes, this is horrific. Thank you for coming in, Lyard. I really appreciate you coming in. Yes, Texas again. I don't know. And I don't know either, Shannon, but you know, we know that Stacey Wondra and Sarah Wondra take down and go to Texas, apparently to pick up a dog to come back and sell for somebody or made money doing it. And here is a connection with Brandon Shurtleff, a registered sex offender, and this RSO and his girlfriend end up being charged with the 6-month baby's death, Peyton's death. And we all know that, you know, he's also connected to Dan Guthrie and his wife that we now know had 8 or 9 children, all of which had been taken away, all because of violent attacks on not just one baby, but on several babies. I have talked to Dan Guthrie's own brother, and he gave me a lot of information. These are the kind of people that Brandon hangs out with, people that he may even be able to confide in because he knows they're as big a monster as he is. Because Brandon Shurtleff knows that he isn't a great guy. He knows he's a bad guy. He knows he's abducted and murdered Michael Joseph Vaughan. And then let me pull up some other stuff here. Like I said, I could only have let's see. Let's I've got to find it in my computer. Hold on one second. Where is it? Here's one. Brandon Shurtleff admits to getting out of the truck on 8th in Arizona. Who got out of the vehicle, if anybody got out of the vehicle, to put in the power steering fluid?
I'm pretty sure I went out and helped him with it.
Listen to the way he says that. Brandon, why you sound so scared? I'm pretty sure I got out and helped him with it. Okay. All right.
So I don't exactly know who all came out and checked, but there's just a lot of things to go over. But I'm pretty sure I helped him top it off and pour it in there that day.
So you and Stacey did the fluids? Okay.
Yeah.
So you and Brandon did the fluids? Yeah. Brandon put himself outside the truck. Here is Brandon with more leakage, admitting about the fighting.
First recollection of like ever meeting Adrian?
One night when Sarah went and did a taxi run, and then she...
A D run, in my opinion. This is when they pulled over on 8th in Arizona. Oh, the Texas runs? Could be. Here, let me rewind this again. Here we go.
When was your first
Oh, sorry. I was trying to take something down and actually put...
meeting Adrian?
One night when Sarah went and did a taxi run, and then she brought him over from wherever she picked him up from on one of her rides, and then she's like, okay, where do you want to go? Where do you want to hang out for the day? And then he's like, well, I don't know if I can because my baby mama's schedule is to that, whatever. And then he ended up like hanging out with us for a couple days, and then I'm pretty sure Sarah and Stacey were like, well, if you want, you could probably hang out over here and help us with our taxi runs or do work or this.
See, Stacey says he can probably help us out with the taxi runs. And this whole entire time, you only hear Stacey Wondra denying and denying and denying over and over and over, and even getting very self-defensive. No, Adrian Lucien did not drive the taxis, but that is not what Brandon Shirtliff just says here.
Taxi runs or do work or this or that, and that would be why he taxi runs or do work. Well, if you want, you could probably hang out over here and help us with our taxi runs or do work or this or that, and that would be why he probably ended up staying a little bit longer than he planned, is what I would say. But then everyone started fighting, and then he's just like, that's it, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And then everybody started fighting. And Adrian was like, okay, I'm gone. I'm out of here. What were they fighting about? Well, he's going to tell you.
I'm sure there were some pretty heated conversations, you know, after Michael's abduction.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying...
So I'm sure there was some pretty heated conversations after Michael's abductions, and oh yeah, it just instantly popped out of his mouth. It was a huge leak. And don't forget, when Brandon Shirtliff comes up on panel, right after he's done, he hits the replay button. He hears the things that he has said, and he flees. He's gone. His girlfriend, his friend, Dan Guthrie, and his wife, they all said he just packed up his shit, left, gone, and went straight up to Montana. Or left Montana, I mean, because that's where he was. Yeah, big oopsie, Brandon. Oh, yeah. Heated conversation after Michael Vaughan's abduction. And oh, yeah, a fight that was so big that Adrian Lucien decides to get his shit and get the hell out of there, too. What were they fighting about? Don't know. And that's why more suspects need to talk.
Sarah picked him up from somewhere and brought him back. And then when was that? I mean, do you remember? Was it a few days before Michael came up missing? I'm pretty
sure it was like a week, or probably like a week before, a week or two before, maybe 3 weeks. It was before that happened.
It was a week. It was a week or two before, maybe a month. I mean, Stacey Wondra does the same thing, doesn't want to talk about when Adrian Lucien got there. But here we have, not only is Brandon Shirtliff saying that Stacey said Adrian Lucien could help with the taxi runs, he also says, oh yeah, to there being a heated conversation after Michael Vaughan's abduction. Leakage. These suspects are suspects for a reason. They did not do this to Michael Joseph Vaughan. They are guilty. It doesn't matter how anybody tries to twist it, okay? It doesn't matter how anybody tries to twist it. Give me a moment and let me pull up something else. Let me see. Takes me a minute because I have a few files I gotta go through to find these things. Let's see. What do? Here's one. Brandon talks about the duffel bag. Yesterday, about a duffel bag. Did you bring a duffel bag to your mom's house?
So I've had many different duffel bags growing up and this and that and everything. But at that time, I'm pretty sure I carried just around like a little small thing that I would put hygiene items in and, you know, clothes or boxer briefs, underwear, you know, whatever, shirts.
Right.
Stuff
Do you
like
remember
that. So
bringing that?
I don't know if I had that on me at that time or not, but I do remember that I have, you know, I have like a little travel bag that I keep with me to put phones in, my phone in, or key.
Brandy says, can I put a link in here for a song instead of that trash that was about to put out? I'm actually going to play a song and a very beautiful thing that we were talking about, that 20-minute video at the very end of this live. And when I do play that, I would just like it if everybody would add some blue hearts and, you know, candles and stuff for Michael. It's a great, great video. I talked to Brandy about it this morning. But you can put the link in here for a great song. Absolutely.
Or wallet, or, you know, just your everyday stuff you need in a vehicle, maybe your insurance papers or IDs, stuff like that.
Okay. Just talking about a duffel bag like it's no big deal, about all the different things that you can put into a duffel bag, but never once, excuse me, trying to admit what he's done. Okay, let's see. I didn't realize I had so many videos on him. Brandon. And yeah, just like Sarah Wondra, Brandon loved to mark all over himself with markers in the house. And he said, that guy that there's a picture of, that walking Brandon guy in the neighborhood, looks like he's got tattoos. I ain't got tattoos. No, you just colored on yourself like you had tattoos. Thank you, Laird. I appreciate that. It does take a minute. I mean, I just saw that I have over 100 videos on Brandon Shirtliff. So I'm just trying to go through and find good ones to post. None of them are good. They're all sick and gross. But you guys get my drift. And, you know, we have talked about Brandon Shirtliff. He also has ties to trafficking. And I'm not talking about rugs. I am talking about other kinds. Let me see if I can find it here. Why does Brandon Shirtliff's friends, all of them on all of his profile, end up, and this is Bunny Fisherman, this is his grandmother's Facebook, okay? His grandmother's Facebook. And we have thought that Brandon Shirtliff uses his grandmother's Facebook. There's a waterfall picture. There's a heart. There's a world. These are all things that can be used for certain things, like trying to send messages without sending messages. Quiet, Eric Lee. Eric Lee is Brandon Shirtliff's friend. Why would his grandmother be telling Eric Lee to be quiet? This is Brandon Shirtliff telling Eric to be quiet. And when Brandon fled from Montana after he did that live with me, where did he go? He went to Eric's house. And here he is in July of 2025, months after him going and being with Eric and working with Eric. He's now telling Eric to be quiet. Was law enforcement talking to Eric? I don't know. But he definitely wants Eric to be quiet. Why? Why does Brandon Shirtliff want Eric to be quiet? And again, here's this waterfall. And then there is somebody else on Brandon Shirtliff's Facebook. A Kathy with the same waterfall. Then you have Sharon Greaves, the same waterfall. John McDonald, same waterfall. A bunch of his friends, Yvonne. And this is barely any, you guys. There's like over. Oh, and remember the Goldstein, the Dorothy Goldstein, which is Alex Goldstein's mom. She spells her name different, but her name is Dorothy. She's the one that went down to Texas, was living with the two people that did all of that stuff to that 6-month-old baby, Peyton. And look, not only is her profile the waterfall, but also her other picture on her Facebook. And then this Donna person has the waterfall. This waterfall is located in Northern California. Where's Grants Pass? Southern Oregon. Very, very close to where these waterfalls are. Don't know if that's anything, but here's the waterfall again on Rob Godsill. These are all friends of Brandon Shirtliff, all connected to Brandon Shirtliff. That's been quayed. What does this waterfall mean? I don't know. Just like the dove. Yes, Kelly. Because there was a dove picture that they would all use, and the dove was on the picture, the sign for that green cemetery that Brandon Shirtliff's grandmother owned. It is very, very weird. Is that Twin Falls? I have been there, but it looks too small. It isn't Twin Falls, and I can't remember the name of it, but it is in Northern California. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember the name of it, but we ended up looking at it because we took the picture, put it into Google, and Google told us where it was. But how strange that so many people connected to Brandon have this profile picture of waterfalls, and we know that he has connections to trafficking, rug, and people. Let's see. then there are more. Hold on a second. I've got warrants on him. You know, then we have the video. Stacey Wondra saying that Brandon was the one who bound Michael Vaughan.
When you came back, why did you come back here?
What do you mean, came back there?
Yeah, I mean, like the next day, like you shared with us that, Brandon put him in the guest room, bound up, but then the next day,
Brandon put him in the guest room of his mother's house. Brandon Shirtliff. Stacey says you took Michael in your mother's house and put him in the spare room while Michael was bound up.
They moved him back here. Why?
That's a great question. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I don't have an answer.
There are no coincidences in this case. These are all leakage because they are all involved in Michael Vaughan's abduction and murder. Why would they say the things that they are saying if they had no involvement? Why is Sarah Wondra freaking out, talking about all this repenting and everything else, and that she's a sinner and a murderer? Let's see. I did the Stacey versus Brandon video once. We can see what this has in it. I forgot about this.
Would Brandon have to lie about? What would Brandon have to lie about? Probably everything. I think that he's trying to perhaps make a cover up for his fuck up, and I think he's just being deceitful about everything.
What a F up, Brandon. What'd you do? Are you the one that accidentally killed Michael Vaughan? What are you trying to cover up? We ain't gonna know unless you start talking to law enforcement.
I think he's trying to. I think he knows that he's probably maybe guilty. But I don't know. What would Brandon have to lie?
Yeah, and I want answers too. I don't think Adrian did it, and I don't think Sarah did it. But Stacey,
And then Brandon just straight up throws Stacey under the bus, just like Sarah.
know that sometimes he's lied to me and he's lied to others, and he says he'll do something and then he really don't do it. And I got after him about that, and I was trying to teach him that you're not supposed to do that in life, and then he'll get sometimes mad at me, So that's where my trail kind of ends, and that's where I'm kind of curious in my own head.
And he talks in riddles sometimes, just like Adrian Lucian.
With Stacey, I'd like to talk to him personally, and if he was here right now, I'd be talking with him and say, hey, I know you and me didn't. I know that you broke my watch, and you thought I wanted to steal your girl or this or that, but that was all accusations. It's not true. Kelly. I was just there to help you guys work, make a business, and pay the bills. That was my whole objective.
So he was accusing you of trying to get with Sarah?
Yes, sir. Like every day.
Every day. But he didn't kick you out of the house?
Right, because she liked me a little bit because I was kind of the cool guy on the block, hanging out, trying to save the day. And he got a little bit jealous
on the
of it.
block
And I
trying to save the day. The cool guy on the block, he's such a dork.
That down and say, hey, we're all friends.
You want to save the day, Brandon? Why don't you go talk to law enforcement? Be the one to tell the truth.
You guys get along, and you guys stop doing that, kind of like a counselor.
He's so ridiculous. Such a jackass. I'll see if I can find another one, and then I'm going to get off of here. I appreciate everybody coming in. I'm going to be playing a video here in a moment. It's a good video. I watched it. It's something that BRANDI shared. It's 20 minutes long, but I would appreciate it if you stayed and chat, put up some candles and hearts and stuff for Michael. And, you know, let's just think about Michael, because he has been gone for 5 years and the family misses him. They want him to come home so they can lay him to rest. And it's just really important, you know, go over all of this stuff. Let's keep talking about these suspects. Let's see. I have one here. There is one. Why can't I find it? Oh, here's one for you. Brandi's message to Brandon Shurtleff.
And Brandon, you know what happened to our beautiful baby. Whether you were directly involved, but you know. You need to start talking. You need to come forward. Quit lying, quit hiding. Please tell us where Michael is. Let our family have some rest, please. Let us bring our baby home. We've worked tirelessly, endlessly. Law enforcement, stop protecting these criminals. It's time to tell the truth. It's time to own up. It's time to find Michael and bring him home and stop your BS.
Stop the BS, Brandon Shurtleff, and bring Monkey home. Okay, I'm going to pull up this live. Whoops. I'm going to pull up this live, or this song. I'm going to pull up this other channel. Please join me in chat to pay our respects to Michael Joseph Vaughan. Think about him, the memories in the family, prayers. We want to know where Michael Vaughan is, Brandon. And it's time for you to... Brandon. Whoops. It's time for you to tell the family, law enforcement, where Michael Joseph Vaughan is. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys for all of the support. You don't want to miss this video. It's one of the most beautiful I've ever seen. I watched it for the very first time last night. I could not stop bawling. Michael Vaughan is very special to me, and so is the Vaughan family, and it would just mean so much to have you all here throughout this video. Thank you so much for being here. Credit goes to Find the Missing.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for all being here today. My name is BRANDI NEAL, and I am Michael Joseph Vaughan's mama. I am here before all of you today on behalf of my family to speak about Michael. As much and everyone in our family wants to be up here in front of all of you today, I am here to speak on all of our behalf. I am here to ask you all. I'm here to ask you, please for your help. I am here to ask you to please keep Michael's face, his name, and his story in every one of your hearts, your eyes, and your minds. It has been 115 days. 115 days. He has not been home. And we need every one of you I need you. I need your help to bring my baby home. I need you to see his beautiful smile. I need you to see how happy he is. That smile was one of our most favorite camping trips. He got to see his first beaver dam, and he got to catch so many frogs that day, and he was so excited. His beautiful blue eyes. He was so happy that day because I promised we would go get ice cream cones. And he laughed so hard because his baby sister got to have her first ice cream cone, and it was everywhere. We got to play at the park that whole day. It was warm, it was sunny, and we played catch. We played football until it got dark. I need you. I need your help, please. I need you to know how much Michael is loved. I need you to know how much he is missed. Our family is broken without him. We miss his laughs, his smiles. We miss his hugs. I need you to know he is such a sweet, fun, exciting little boy. He brings such joy and love to our family and everyone that he knows and that knows him. Michael has a laugh that is beyond contagious. You can't help but smile and laugh when you hear his laugh. We need him home. I am asking for your help. I am asking for everyone's help. Please, please, if you know anything at all, if you know something, please, I am begging. This is my baby. This is my son. I need him home. I want him home. Please, I need your help to bring him home. I want to thank all of the community and the extended communities and everyone who continues to keep Michael in your thoughts, in your prayers, and in your eyes. Please keep sharing his picture. Please, any information to help bring my son home. I want to thank the Fruitland Police Department, the state, FBI. I want to thank all of them for their continued support. They have become family, and they are his son too. So please, please, please help me. Please help me bring my baby home. Please keep us all in your prayers. Anything, please help. Please help us bring our baby home. Thank you.
We're committed to finding Michael, and we're not going to leave any stones unturned. We also want to emphasize that Michael's family continues to be fully cooperative. I'm going to continue to ask for the respect of their privacy, please. Michael was last seen wearing a light blue Minecraft t-shirt with dark blue or black boxer briefs with a green stripe and a child size 11 flip-flops. He stands about 43 inches tall, 50 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. He answers to the nickname Monkey. And if you see Michael or have any information into his whereabouts or location, please call the Payette County Sheriff's Office at 208-642-6006, extension 0. And that is our tip line.
As far as we know, he was out in our neighborhood. He went to a neighbor's house. He was last seen walking down the street. He knocked on a neighbor's door, apparently, as what I've been told. He wasn't supposed. He knows he's not supposed to be out in the front yard. He knows he's not supposed to be out front. Dad had to take care of littles. Here, you want a bite? I was at work. All I know is that he was out front and he wasn't supposed to be. And he knows he's not supposed to be.
BRANDI was at her job that day, and Michael's father, Tyler Vaughan, was watching the kids. She was scheduled to work until 9 that night. She got a call at 7:04 p.m.
Tyler said he couldn't find Michael. He was screaming for him, and I could hear the fear in his voice, and I froze at the moment. My coworker saw me and it's like, go. And I ran, I grabbed my purse and I drove as fast as I could here.
During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wondras, Shirtlift, and Lucine, who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction when we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation. And I can assure you that we will. All of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. We are all very emotionally tied to this case.
I sat at the end of the road. I watched the trucks leaving with the dirt. But I promised my family, I promised law enforcement, I promised everybody that I wouldn't go over there. It was like day one again. The first weeks, months, not being able to drive, not being able to think, not being able to do anything.
You're confident that they have more?
They can't tell us, but I'm confident in them.
They brought human remains detection dogs.
All of them alerting to the presence of human remains.
It's not fair if you have information about Michael and you've watched us for this past 545 days and you haven't said a damn word. And we have to wait and wait and wait and still take care of our family and our lives. Somebody needs to say something, and they need to start talking.
You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop.
I hate these words, but we will bring him home one way or another. We'll never give up. I never thought in a million years